My favorite thing about brisket is the heavy black pepper flavored crust that's on there. People call it a bark. Ben and I keep going to barbecue places and we keep getting the brisket and it comes out really dry. So we wanted to make our own by using techniques that we've been using at ChefSteps. We found a couple tricks that actually help you get around that at home without a smoker and get a really nice succulent brisket. This is gonna make a juicier brisket that rivals any you find in the South.
Best brisket ever. Let's get started. This is a whole brisket. They call it packer.
From the breast.
Right here. As you can see on the top of the brisket, there's a lot of fat. We trim a good portion of that heavy fat cap off, but you can trim as much or as little as you want, honestly. A lot of people think that the fat helps to add like moisture and juiciness to the brisket. It's not necessarily true. Next, we're gonna brine it. The brine is pretty simple. It's just a mixture of smoky salt, brown sugar, and liquid smoke.
If you were gonna brine this, it takes about 5 to 7 days at least. Shortcut we found is we like to inject it with that brine.
We'll just inject all along here and in both muscles on the point just to speed that up, and then we'll pop it back in the fridge in the brine for 24 or 48 hours. Last step we'll do is add a little bit of our pink salt, the nitrite, to the brine, and that's gonna give us our smoke ring. You don't wanna let it hang out in the nitrite brine for more than about 2 or 3 hours, otherwise that smoke ring can get pretty thick.
The smoke ring is purely for appearance. It's not gonna change the texture or flavor in any way.
Once you're done brining, then you wanna glaze it. Our glaze is a mixture of liquid smoke, molasses, and a little bit of liquid aminos or soy sauce, just to add a little bit of extra umami and saltiness. We'll brush it with the smoky molasses glaze and then cook it sous vide for 24 hours. We like cooking at 68°C. That gives us a nice mix of like that well done braisy brisket texture, but still low enough that it doesn't cook all the juice out of it.
Once it comes out of the bag, we just like to dry it off a little bit and we just get our little glaze that we made earlier and brush it all over. This is gonna help with color and flavor.
It's also gonna make the surface tacky so that we can add our brisket rub.
It's pretty classical. It's heavy on black pepper. It's important to like really get that bark on there because with the tip here, it's so thick, you really want to get a nice crust on it so you get those heavy aromats and those black pepper flavor throughout every bite.
Once you have it coated in your rub, we like to put it into a low temp oven around 125 Celsius, 130 Celsius, somewhere in there, for 3 to 4 hours, and that's gonna develop that super rich, unctuous bark that is really like the star of any brisket. Once you're satisfied with where your bark's at, then pull it out, slice it up, and you're ready to eat.
What did Meathead say about it?
Best brisket I've ever had.
Okay, so we've been really excited that you guys were coming. We had some other development we were working on in regards to bringing the outdoor cooking indoors so people in their apartments and homes could get that traditional barbecue experience without the equipment. And since you guys are the experts, you guys have been doing barbecue for so long, we thought we'd make it while you were here and get your feedback. It's like,
look at it, it's just gushing
breaking
juice.
into a loaf of bread here. I want to see the
gushing
crumb.
juice.
Oh my God.
That looks like the real deal. And he's got a smoke ring.
Ben did it.
Oh my God.
Ryan.
Oh, look at this piece right here. Smoke ring, juicy.
That's hot.
The bark and the liquid smoke have melded together so perfectly, you cannot tell that there's been liquid smoke added to this. But this is absolutely one of the most extraordinary briskets I've ever tasted.
I think this is like the best brisket I've ever had.
Who's tired of dry brisket? We are. Let's make a juicy one.
So we call it the meat slap. That's the pre-wubba wubba test. Did you hear about the wubba wubba? Oh, the wubba wubba. Let me tell you about the wubba wubba.
How to make your own smoked
I'm
wubba wubba at home.
showing this to Brian and Meathead. In the barbecue community, your brisket's done when you poke it and it goes wubba wubba.
Like it makes that noise?
You know, it wiggles, it goes, you know. How to do that thing.
Should we do this?